Let's face it, if your client delivery depends entirely on your mood, your brain, or your energy, let's be really honest with where we're at. We have a really expensive and exhausting job. We don't have a business. Like, we need another one of those. So, in this video, I'm going to walk you through the exact fulfillment system that lets me deliver high ticket transformations without me personally delivering every single piece of it. And you know what? Yes, I want you to steal the entire framework because you cannot scale if you are the product. And I am done seeing women in this space suffering. So let's put an end to this. If we haven't met yet, my name is Rebecca Korn, and I help women founders of high ticket service businesses install profit architecture so that revenue becomes predictable and profit actually scales without all of the chaos and the drama. Because we don't do hustle, we don't do vibes, and we desire structure with a bunch of rich women. That's my favorite. So here we are. So here's the trap that most of you are at right now. You've hit 250,000, maybe even a million in a year, and you're performing, but you're also working 60 plus hours a week doing the work. And this means that you're not scaling a business, you're scaling your nervous system and how much you can actually handle. And that's a recipe for a breakdown and not the cute kind. So when you first start, clients buy you, your attention, your time. And so at 5 to 10 clients, it's cute. You're making money, you're busy, but at 20 to 30 clients, the wheels fall off. Your delivery gets messy and your pipeline gets really inconsistent and everything feels urgent, exhausting, and frustrating. But here's the math problem. You can't scale personal attention. So what happens is we try to raise our prices and then we try working more weekends, but none of that actually solves the real issue. And the real issue is that your fulfillment system relies on you. So the shift that we have to make is actually separating the transformation from your time. This means that clients don't need all of your time. They need your knowledge applied to their situation and their direction refined. And once you understand that, we can engineer your actual delivery. So let me show you the exact fulfillment pipeline that works at scale. And where I like to do this is I structure fulfillment into three pipes, an onboarding pipe, a content pipe, and a support pipe. If one of these pipes leaks, then you're the one who drowns, really. And so right now, you're probably manually scheduling calls, sending logins, and repeating the same expectations 50 times. Stop it. A lot of my girls are like, oh my God, but it has to be personalized because then they have to know that it doesn't. It does not, honey. It does not. My system automates 90% of this. Automated welcome with a docu-signed contract, any sort of automated continue community or continued learning access, a 15-minute onboarding video that details exactly what they need to complete inside of their system, and then literally a day one automated task. So I only step in if something breaks or if they ghost for like 48 hours. But oftentimes I mean, it used to take about 2 hours of my time to onboard somebody. It now takes a literal click of the button. And that's it. It gets shipped off. It is direct. Now, that is where the magic happens, right? Because if I can just eliminate a couple of those times within a week, well, all of a sudden I have won the lottery in having a lot of ease. So, this is really, really important. Okay, so it's step two, content delivery. This is where the transformation really happens. So I want you to stop teaching the same frameworks live over and over and over. It is Groundhog Day, honey, and you know it. And I love that movie, but I do not love playing that movie. So package your brain, build a core curriculum, and create implementation templates. Write those SOPs. They can't live in your head anymore. Okay, so record it once, let them access it forever. It takes you from 40 hours a week of live teaching down to zero. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. So, most coaches inside of Pipe 3 for leverage support, they default to one-on-one calls for every single question. It's sweet, but it's a massive time leak. So, 80% of client questions are exactly the same. I mean, There are certain things that, and I want you to think about the last time you were in a Q&A with somebody. It was valuable for you because you heard the way that the question was asked and you're like, oh, I have that question too. That's great. So instead, in our world, we use community support. 1 to 2 QA calls a week are wonderful. You can even have batched voice notes and or looms that are replays for specific directions so that that way when you answer a question in the community it is documented forever, and the system then supports the next client before they even ask the question, and that is a beautiful thing. Now in this area I want you to pause for a second. If you're listening to this thinking, oh my God, Rebecca, this sounds amazing, but I am so deep in client delivery that I don't even have the time to build this system. And I just want to say, first of all, I hear you and I see you. And that's exactly what I do. So if you're a woman founder doing between 250 to 5 million a year, and you are acting as the primary bottleneck in your own delivery, and you're recognizing that in this moment, we need to talk. My team and I are literally the people to install profit architecture into your business just like this. We'll build the systems, the boundaries, the positioning, so you can actually step away and act like a CEO. And it is sexy as anything. There's a little link in the description to book just like a sales audit. We don't do that like weird pressure sales thing where like if you wait 24 hours, the price doubles and blah blah blah. That's not our stuff. So we just take a look at your data and we'll fix the leaks and we'll tell you if it's a good match for us to build it out or we'd refer you to somebody else. So just wanted to mention that. In the meantime, the biggest thing I like to mention as well is that I don't want you to try and build the entire pipeline in one weekend. That's a It's almost like doing taxes and putting it all on yourself in like the next hour. You'll procrastinate it and you'll think that it's scheduled for yourself, but it doesn't work that way. So let me give you an actual sequence so that you can take this in phases. Phase one, phase one or week one, maybe first 2 weeks, okay? Take your next few clients through your normal process, but hit record on everything using a transcriber. You can use AI Companion, Fathom. There's a Fixer if you use Fixer for email organization. Save the templates, track the questions. You cannot systemize what you don't know, and you can't document what you don't know. So there's a feedback loop there. When you become very clear on the ways that you're processing that, you then step into it a lot more efficiently. Step two or phase two, build the onboarding, set up the automations. Your goal is to automate 90% of clients onboarded without lifting a finger. That means that you can't change your prices. That means that you cannot change, you can't negotiate things the way that you used to or customize things that you used to. Now, if you're already making typically if you're already making above 500K a year, you already know this. But if you're listening to this and you're not quite at 250 or you're like in that segment, you probably have a hint of this. So I'm going to say it. Okay. Next phase, what you want to do is you want to build the content. So this is phase three. And after you've built the onboarding, you are tracking each of those clients. Organize those recorded calls and those repeated teachings into modules and attach your templates. Done is better than perfect. We know this, okay? But it is something that's really hard to do at first because we can't oftentimes like think outside of ourselves. Again, use those transcriptions, be able to take a look at some of your methods and start to architect that. The next phase, so weeks 9 through 12, build the support, launch the community space, set up the weekly Q&A calls, and restrict access to one-on-one to emergencies only. And this way, you find out that things are either working or it's not working. Hope isn't a metric. Okay. So a lot of times we say like, oh man, I hope this works. I don't do that. We track 3 things every single day. The first thing is client results. Okay. And the question is it above 85% or not? If not, the content, something is broken inside of that. Okay. review the content, take a look at it, and make sure that everything is in there. Second, we look at the refund rate. If it is under 5%, then great. Okay. If it's spiking, then there's something happening in your onboarding or sales expectations that are broken and or not articulated directly enough. Okay. And then three, at fulfillment, at scale, you should be spending less than 30 minutes per client per week. So think about this. Now, I know you're thinking, but Rebecca, my clients want me specifically and they're unique in these areas. Good, let's monetize them without making your delivery the default. Because when we systematize 80% of your delivery into a highly scalable base tier for the next 20% who genuinely want you or are having your direct eyes on things, you charge them a premium. And we're not talking like, oh, 5K. We're talking 15, 20, 25. I have some ladies that can charge six-figure fees on that because it's an investment. Your time is not the default. It's a premium add-on, darling. And that's how you actually reclaim your sovereignty. We do enough emotional caretaking in so many other areas, and the sexiest one to build is business. And I know I say that, and I had a woman recently on LinkedIn tell me, Rebecca, like sexy is just not my vibe. And it doesn't work with my blah 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 whatever. And I was like, hey, bless queen, that's totally fine. I'm not here to be everybody's person, but I am a girl's girl. And I will tell you that if you follow this exact fulfillment pipeline, and you're welcome to steal it, you'll stop leaking so much energy and you will get that back in revenue plus energy. Now, I don't know what kind of compound interest baby that you're looking for, but revenue and energy is like, whew, wonderful thing for me. And it's not just the fire. So we'll look at your delivery. We'll see if you are ready for profit architecture, if you're interested in working with us. But regardless, if this framework helped you in any way, even just in thought or vision, hit a like, drop a comment. I'd really love to hear this because I like to find out what is going on in the bottleneck. And I love to answer questions around this. So if you want to answer here, that'd be wonderful. I can then be very focused in the space of actually giving back to this community. Your clients deserve a system, not a hero, okay? Not a savior. You deserve to be the queen. I'll see you at the next one.